Thanks for stopping by to check out what's new. This month's update is all about expanding your herds and growing your business. You'll see new improvements to the livestock breeding and birthing process to better account for surrogates and multiple births in a litter. You'll also find similar improvements when adding multiple newly purchased animals to the software, which you can now also accomplish in offline scout mode on the FarmBright mobile app. There are also some enhancements and new fields on your plantings, and a new way to calculate inventory usage. Let's take a look. We'll first navigate to one of our female animals, and then go to our breeding tab, so that we can see the new choices available when using the embryo transfer method for a breeding record. When working with the animal as a surrogate, you can now track the genetic mother and father of the embryo. So while we're recording the breeding on Gladys goat, we can mark that the genetic mother is Ginger and the genetic father as Jerry. The new offspring born from this breeding record will inherit the genealogy of the genetic mother and father chosen here. Even if the genetic mother and father are off farm, you can still track them in FarmBright using the reference status. You can still add other relevant information, including selecting the embryos from your inventory. We'll mark that we used one to reduce the amount that we have on hand, and then create. Let's fast forward a few months to when we're recording a birth. Even though the last update we looked at was specific to embryo transfer, no matter what breeding method is used, when you record the birth of new offspring, you'll have an easier time creating twins, triplets, and more. If our goat birthed 3 kids, we can now add basic information about all 3 of them in one action. You'll see names pre-populated, but you can update them, and then you can add sex, tag numbers, weight, coloring, and keywords. You can supply these separately for each new animal in the birth, eliminating the need to update the individual animals in a litter. Along with this, you'll see a new field for birthing ease, which can record how easy or difficult the birth was and help you make informed breeding decisions in the future. Let's fill out information for our other 2 offspring, and then save. We'll see 3 new animals added to the Mother's Offspring tab, and in this case, since the breeding method was embryo transfer, it's important to note that we've landed on the Genetic Mother's Offspring tab and not the Surrogate, as these 3 animals are genetically tied to this mother. Also, if there's additional information you would like to add about the offspring, you could always click into them individually and edit their records, or select them all and choose bulk actions to apply updates to all of them at once. You'll also find some additional report enhancements to go along with these breeding updates. We've created a new breeding surrogates report that will show you the number of times the animal has been used as a surrogate, its rate of conception, its number of successful or failed pregnancies, and an averaged birthing ease that we saw when recording the birth earlier. Back to reports. That same birthing ease field is also included on your reproduction details. That same new process that we just saw when adding twins and triplets can also be used to add purchased animals to your FarmBright account. From the main livestock page, you'll see a new choice to bulk add animals, and this page should look familiar to you as it has the same basic fields that we just saw when recording the birth. All of the animals being added will be the same type. We'll add some pigs that we just bought, say that there was 5 of them, and that we purchased them. We can put in a total purchase price and who we bought them from. And if you haven't yet accounted for the expense, you can check the box to create an accounting transaction. We'll then supply information about each one of these animals, and then scroll to save our changes. Let's set a filter to take a look at those pigs, and see them all added here. Also, this same new process is available when you go offline and use FarmBright in Scout mode. If you're out in an area of your farm that doesn't have great Wi-Fi signal, you can always choose to go offline in advance and then use FarmBright offline on your mobile device out in the field. That ability has always been available for you, but we've now expanded it with the ability to add animals there as well. I also want to show you one more thing that we've recently updated, just as a quick tip. I'm going to navigate to one of my animal records and highlight an existing feature that we made a small update to. Under the Actions menu on the animal, you can click to View Data Sheet, which will give you a profile and history of that animal. Any notes that you've written, treatment records that you've created, measurements, their genealogy, any of their offspring, feedings, and grazing movements are all included in this datasheet profile. You can easily print this out or save it as a PDF using the button to Print Animal Record at the top. This might be helpful if you're selling the animal and want to give your buyer a thorough look at the animal's history. This has also been available for you, but we've renamed it to draw attention to it, as we think it's a helpful tool that could benefit a lot of our users. Now, beyond the livestock breeding improvements that we just saw, you'll also find some updates to other areas of FarmBright. Let's navigate to Resources and choose Inventory, where we'll take a look at a new feature to exclude inventory usage from average usage calculations. We've heard requests for a way to handle transfers, gifts, and sold items, and have created a new selection to prevent these from being counted towards your average daily usage. Perhaps our neighbor ran out of feed, and we gave them some of ours to help them out. We can remove it from our inventory, but we probably don't want that gift counted towards our usage, as it may throw off the number that we use to determine how much we feed our own animals each day. You can now check a box to exclude from usage calculations to prevent the amount removed from being included. We'll take these 100 pounds out of our silo, make a note about our neighbor, and save. And as you can see, our daily usage remains the same. If we navigate to history, you'll see that adjustment is tagged with an exclusion. And for our last two updates, let's go to the planting section. We'll choose one of our crop types, go to its details, and see a new field to track its average height. If you're growing somewhere that has vertical space limitations, you might want to add this so you have a good idea of what fits. And like row spacing or days to maturity, when you create a new crop type, if you use one of the plant types in FarmBright's crop dictionary, the data will come preloaded for you. And lastly, one more small change. We'll navigate to the crop plan and see that we've made it easier to use for this season by docking the column headers at the top as you scroll through the list. And that takes us through what I wanted to highlight for April. Reach out to us if you have any questions about using any of these new features. Thanks for watching.